Facebook Live. Hello, good to see you. And we got a guest who we'll bring on here in a little bit once we get things started and actually get the show kicked off. Good thing. So the engineer can turn the music down. David.
You don't like music?
Yeah, that's the background music. So you know, a lot of these shows don't have themes. See, we good because we had a theme. We've been doing this so long.
We're professional.
10 years. So
we can actually spell that.
We used to have an extra. That's like music that they play when you go off.
Didn't we do some James Brown at one time?
No, that was the Barcades. We had the Barcades at one time.
Yeah,
the Barcades was part of our
that's
process.
Way old school.
So anyway.
All new. AM1150WTMP.com.
How you doing, Tampa Bay? It's good to be with you again. As I say, me and Gabriel gonna hold down the fort, and we're gonna
Facebook.
Gonna do our thing. And folks on Facebook, like I told you guys on Facebook, we get better at this every week. Every week we
like
get
and
better.
share. We don't get better looking, but we get better sounding.
Yeah, that's a good thing. Well, that's why we have guests on. We have guests on the show to make us look better.
There we go. Mo better.
See that's why we do. That's why we do guests. So for those who want to call in and be on the show, see, y'all know how we do this now.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to call in and be on the show, so don't call in and act like you ain't gonna be on the show, because if you call in, you're gonna be on the show. If you want to call and talk to me after the show, I give you my cell phone number, later. Okay, for those who want to call in during the show, be on the show. The call-in number here at WTMP is 813-251-9867. 813-251-9867. So if you call me, call that number during the next hour, you're going to be on the show. If you want to talk to me after the show, my cell phone number, Eddie Adams Jr. cell phone number is 813-12. And if you want to call Gabriel for any reason and have him, well, if you want to text me, you got
compliments, adorations.
You got the number, and if you want to email me, Eddie.
I got a chair.
Yeah, you do. EDD.
I got your chair.
Get the one on that.
Yeah, so
Okay.
keep on going.
Anyway, if you want to email me, Eddie, EDDIE at porchtalkradio.com. Eddie at porchtalkradio.com. All right, now Gabriel should be ready playing music.
Let's go.
Playing musical chairs. So
I got that little kid chair that goes down there too quick.
Yeah, contact you. Go ahead.
You know, folks, to contact me, and again, I've always said it the same. I've always kept it simple. Adoration, the compliments are always welcome. If you have found something that I have said that was incorrect and you have evidence, please share. I'm all good for that. If you want to whine and complain because you're liberal and you don't know any different, then I can't help you. I'm sorry about that. Otherwise, you can give me a call at 727-11.
All right. Okay, so we're going to get the show started. And as a lot of you guys know, usually, I don't always do it, but more often than not, when I come in, I always got something that I need to say. And I have to say it at the beginning of the show, because if I wait too long, I forget. I'm a senior. So sometimes, I have senior moments. So I have to go ahead and get stuff
It's called a sometimes moment.
So I have to go ahead and get it off my mind while I'm thinking about it. And I am in the process of doing some stuff in my mama's house. My mom got a house over in Lake Wales, and I've been repairing it. So it's been 50 plus years since I've been over there for any period of time. And so from time to time while I'm working on the house, people come by who I haven't seen in over 50-something years. I'm talking about people who I went to school with, classmates that left Lake Wales before we graduated, and the old neighborhood. A lot of people have died. And it just happened the other day that I was talking in my block where I spent most of my childhood. We had 3 or 4 houses that was full of kids, because nowadays I hear people saying and telling stories, now when I was a kid, we had a 1-bedroom house with 6 children and my mama in it. 1 bedroom.
Good thing y'all like each other.
I'm just saying. Okay, so I'm just saying. Okay, the way we did. You saying? I know you saying. Oh, how y'all do that? Well, we had the 1 bedroom had 2 beds in it. Had 3 boys in 1 bed, 3 girls in the other bed.
Sounds logical.
And my mom slept in a bed in the living room. So we had a bed in the living room. So when you walked in the house, there was a bed. I mean, we only had, so.
The modern version of that is called the loft, I think. A loft.
And so what we were doing was we were talking about the neighborhood. We wasn't the worst on the block. It was 2 bedroom houses, one 2 doors down and 1 3 doors down, and there was another house on the corner. One house, 2 bedrooms, had 8 kids. Wow. The other one had 10 kids. 2 bedroom houses. They're still there. Mm-hmm. Right now, they don't have all the kids, grew up and moved out and stuff. But I'm just thinking, that nowadays I hear people speaking of being poor and they can barely get along, and and the 2 kids, 3 kids is a big problem. And I'm just saying, when I was being raised and when I was growing up, 8 kids in a 2 bedroom house. Again, just me and my family, because my mom had 5 kids, and I have a sister that was my father's child, who came and stayed with us for a couple of years. So we just had so much room. We had. I'm gonna tell you how you do it. I know some people who are not aware of it. You have 2 sleep at one end of the bed, and the other one sleep at the other end of the bed. So two kids at the head and 1 at the foot, or vice versa.
So you guys are real tight, you're saying?
It was 3 of us in the same bed. So I'm just saying, I hear a lot of people with a lot of problems, about how much space they got and how big and how small their houses are and scenarios. And I'm just saying, it was commonplace, everyday place for a lot of folks. When I came up, they had big families, but nobody had big houses. Mm-hmm. That was just it. It was just a matter of, and outside folks, it wasn't even a thought. I had never thought about this when I was a kid, how many people were in these houses.
Buddy, I'm Hispanic. You want to talk about how many people? We had 3 times that. And it didn't matter if they were men or women, children, or grandpa, dogs, everybody fit in that one room. Yeah. Well,
see, I hadn't thought about that, but I'm just saying, and then when you go back home sometime and you're talking to people you ain't talked to over 50 years, so I left Lake Wales in 1971. So I was,
I don't think I was born yet.
I was 17, going to college, came to Tampa in 71. So when I left then, I pretty much have not lived in Lake Wales since that time. So now when I go back and see people who I haven't seen in over 50 years or 60 years, I had never had the opportunity to have some of the conversations I've had, because I ain't seen these people, it's a lifetime, 2 lifetimes ago. So anyway, the guest we have today is an unusual young lady, in that what she does for a living is she's the executive director of New Life Village, and New Life Village,
Helping.
The old
Helping, right?
Paul Helping.
Yeah, Paul used to be there. Yeah. For those who don't understand what it is, she's gonna tell you a little bit about it. But part of what it is, and the whole concept of it take a village to raise a child. That kind of idea, that kind of concept. They're taking it to the next level. We actually provide housing and programming.
You dragged me into that when they first opened up, didn't you? They had that new property they had just gotten, and they were bringing in stuff.
That's what she
remodeling and everything.
That's what she runs.
Back in the day, yeah.
Back in the day. So we've been around. I got associated with Sister Claire, who is the visionary for this whole thing, back in 2008. So that's when I met Sister Claire, got involved, had an event, raised about $48,000 for the whole process, and kind of been involved ever since then. I'm still on the board of directors, and a couple of years ago I helped them sell the property they had, which generated almost $1.2 million.
Awesome.
Somehow, you know, and it that 1.2 didn't come all to them, but part of it came to them. So anyway, without further ado, folks, Tampa Bay, and part of this is being part of the community and helping the community. I mean, long as you're helping the community, I always say, you know, you're doing the right thing, especially when you give them time, energy, and effort to something much bigger than yourself. And a lot of times it's the thought that count. Mariah, Hadden, welcome to Porch Talk Radio, and get a little closer to the mic. How you doing?
I'm good. Thank you for having me.
You know, kind of explain the whole process and stuff that I left out, and you know, contact information and where we at now and all that kind of stuff. So Tampa Bay don't know you, so make sure that you give them enough information to get the right feel
and how to communicate with
about what's going on
donate.
and how to, you know, make some stuff happen. I kick in a couple of words every now and then. So go.
No problem. Well, thank you for having me, and good afternoon, Tampa Bay. My name is Mariah, and as Eddie said, I work over with New Life Village. So New Life Village is a very cool concept. We're the only nonprofit doing this in the state of Florida. And what it is kind of think of an apartment complex with a mission, right? So we have 102 residents that live at New Life Village, and there's two types of residents that can come live with us. The first type of resident is a family, and the family is one way or another getting a child out of foster care. They're preventing them from going to foster care, or they're adopting them out of foster care. They're bringing these children to permanency. So it's important to mention that Tampa is actually has in a foster care crisis. We have the highest number of children in foster care in the entire state of Florida, and Florida is number 3 in the country with the amount of children in foster care. So this is a real crisis to our neighborhood, is to getting these children to permanency. So the families that live there are preventing children from going to foster care, are getting them out. And then right next door to them, what's really cool, we are living the proverb, it takes a village to raise a child. So we have senior citizens like Eddie.
We all know how old Eddie is, so you ain't embarrassing me. So.
He'll man up to it. He's good.
Yeah.
We have senior citizens that live at New Life Village, and what they're doing is they're actually our greatest donors of all. They are donating their retirement to us. And so these senior citizens are acting to these children as surrogate grandparents, tutors, mentors, babysitters, village elders. And so all of these people live together, and then while they're on campus, we have a whole on-site program that offers tutoring, field trips, birthday celebrations, art therapy, etc., etc. We have a 12-acre campus. We're building a garden thanks to Hillsborough County, and we have a splash pad, and we have murals and a playground. And so our campus is where these children heal. They're rebuilding relationships with each other. They are learning to trust again, and they're healing from their trauma. So it's a really, really cool concept. I'm very excited to announce that we've been in a capital campaign, a $4 million capital campaign to build 2 new buildings, talking about how many kids are in beds together and how many bedrooms. Back to Eddie's story. There are a lot of sibling groups in foster care, lots of brothers and sisters that need to be adopted or fostered together. So we're going to be building houses for those groups, 16 new units coming up this year. We're just $400,000 away from our goal to build those buildings. So if anybody's interested in helping us finish that up, New Life Village is over here in Palm River. So we're on 50th Street between Causeway and Crosstown. Our website is New Life Village, www.newlifevillage.org. We love to give tours. Our campus is beautiful. There's butterflies and murals and all kinds of cool stuff. We want you to see what we're up to. Our website has lots of information about us, and we're very active on Facebook and Instagram as well. We always need volunteers. We always need donors. And we always need people looking to help out the foster care system, to be a guardian ad litem, to foster, and to consider adoption. There's a lot of kids that need us right here in Tampa.
Okay, on that note, we got a caller. Caller, welcome to Porch Talk Radio. Who are you? Where you calling from? And what say you? Hello?
Hello, Eddie.
Yes.
We've been invited beautiful.
Okay, so
She's not adding to the conversation.
So if you're not adding to this conversation, then you're not welcome to this show.
Wasn't it beautiful, Eddie?
Yeah.
Okay, so she can cut him off. Okay, thank you.
Moving on.
All right, go ahead. I'm sorry. Sometimes we get those kind of people calling. Leave it up so we can hear it. All right, go ahead. Continue.
keep going?
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
So one of the things that makes New Life Village pretty cool is we have a bunch of program partners. And these are different people that come onto the campus and do Tai Chi and yoga with our seniors. The military comes in and does service projects with our kids, lays mulch, paints the buildings, things like that. We have a new organization that we just got actually a Super Bowl grant. So Super Bowl 55 gave grants to over 55 local nonprofits. We were one of the
Hallelujah.
Yes.
That's a good thing. I like that.
We had the Super Bowl committee as well as Sheriff Chronister were all very supportive and helped us get that grant. That grant is helping us bring art therapy onto our campus starting next week, which is pretty cool. So there's all kinds of different organizations, corporations, military, fraternities, college groups, athletic groups that come in and do stuff with our youth and help make our village come together. So it really is a unique place. We're super proud of it. And any questions anybody has, I'm happy
Go ahead
to
and
take.
give the contact information again, phone, website, all that kind of stuff. Get that again.
Website is www.newlifevillage.org. Phone number is 813-304-0623. We are on Facebook, so New Life Village, I think is our handle on Facebook as well as Instagram. We're always sharing what we're doing with the kiddos and our seniors and our partners on all those places. Oh, we also have an appropriation in, Republican-led appropriation. Representative Jackie Toledo is sponsoring our appropriation.
Great lady.
As
Very
well
good.
as Senator Simpson is sponsoring the bill, so it's a Republican-led piece of, an appropriation.
Yeah, okay.
And God willing, if we survive the appropriation process, that money will be used to help us finish these buildings. Which
Hallelujah, that'd be awesome.
16 new units, about 70 new residents will be able to join our family, take part of our services. The last thing I forgot to mention, which is super important, is another crisis that we have here in Tampa Bay is an affordable housing crisis.
Right.
And so while our mission is not affordable housing, it is something that we incentivize our parents with. So all of our families that live there do have affordable housing prices, living in these townhouses. They're beautiful townhouses. It's a thank you to them for impacting these children, getting them to permanency and providing that support to them. We help a lot of our residents also get financial independence and buy houses. And so they move out of New Life Village into homeownership after having a few years of therapy and support services.
And one thing I want the community to also know and understand, New Life Village, the residents pretty much look like the community at large, because they're Black, they're Hispanic, there's young folks, there's old folks, anything you could think of. And when I say mirroring the real world, the one that we're used to, that's what New Life Village does. So it's a lot of Black families there. It's some grandparents there. It's some young folks there, Blacks, white, Hispanics, you name them, they're there. And the good thing about it is it's a gated community. Now, how many folks, that that of the population that I just named actually get to live in a gated community? So these ain't like houses from the hood. These are from, matter of fact, these units, townhouses, were built back in 1980 something, but we renovated them, updated them, and these are all of the units are very nice.
It's not like government housing, basically.
No, and actually a little bit newer than that. We are about 15 years old, so much sooner than 1980. Yeah. No, it's not government housing. It's privately owned.
Right.
All 12 acres was paid off by a donor, so we own the whole place.
Wow.
And we've got big plans in partnership with Hillsborough County to build more buildings for our families, to put a splash pad, a garden, a basketball court, a multi-purpose field. Our kids, the thing that they're most consistent with is playing football every day out there on that field. We're working with some of the local Buccaneers to support football and mentorship on the field. We've had and a lot of bipartisan support as well. We've had a lot of commissioners and senators come out for tours to see what we're doing. Our model is so unique. There's There's only like 3 or 4 people.
She talks with a hand.
I
That's why you
do.
keep
I'm
hearing.
jangling around here. There's about 4 other organizations like ours across the country, but we're the only ones doing what we're doing in the state of Florida. We're holistically approaching affordable housing and foster care crisis with a different approach. And so, especially if you are in a political office, please come see us. We're a great model. Our hopes and dreams are that down the line we'll be able to replicate this model and do it in other counties and around the state, because it's doing a lot of things that make sense for children, for families, for housing, for seniors. We're really proud of what we do, and the best thing is for people to check us out, know about us, and give us a tour.
And the website's what?
newlifevillage.org.
Cool.
Yeah.
That's nice.
Good. We got another caller. Caller, welcome to Porch Talk Radio. Who are you? Where you calling from? And what say you? Hello?
Yes, I just want to let you know that it's another organization in Jacksonville, Florida, doing the same thing. Like the housing program that y'all talking about is called Jaguar Village.
Say it again. Could you say it again?
The apartment complex is called Jaguar Village. It's Jaguars, the NFL team started out. The founder and the owner of the Jacksonville Jaguars started.
That's awesome.
That's great.
That's a contact for you.
Are they also working with foster youth over there, or is there another population, at-risk population that is living there?
Caller?
I think we all.
I'll look into it.
Yeah.
There's and what's beautiful, they're called intentional communities, and they're popping up across the country. And it's not just for foster youth. They might build a community, for instance, for disabled veterans.
Oh.
So what they're doing is they're putting neighbors next to each other that can help each other out for a greater cause. There's a bigger synergy there where 1 + 1 = 3 with everybody living together.
Nice.
And so they're called intentional communities. You've got veterans. We're helping foster youth. They have them for teenage moms. They have them for young adults with disabilities that might have autism and need to be helped with housing or something like that. There's all kinds of intentional communities. The more, the better.
Wow,
Because
that's
they
awesome.
make so much sense.
Thank you, caller.
Well, the thing that's actually pretty good about what he said is if the Jacksonville Jaguars is doing it, you make that contact, get that connection, they may be able to tell us how to get the Buccaneers involved locally. I mean, so since they already got a program, it's in the state, and it's doing whatever it's doing.
Well, the Buccaneers got to be better than the Jags, right?
Well, the Buccaneers got to be a much better community type organization. So me saying, we've got a way. I understand the cause cannot be any greater than the cause we have here.
Yeah.
Trying to save kids and help
Sure.
kids and families
In Tampa Bay, you're right.
foster care. So I mean, I know the Buccaneers may have a lot, especially with them winning. I ain't gonna jinx them, but playing at home in the Super Bowl. There you go.
There you
It's
go.
such a great honor. I mean, how cool is that?
That's a great opportunity, and for us to New Life Village, I'm saying us because I've been a part for so long, to be able to reach out to them through something that's already happening in Jacksonville, because a lot of times large organizations and corporations like that, first thing to say, well, how do we get involved, or what do we do? We haven't done that before.
PayPal. We have a PayPal.
And the fact that the Jacksonville Jaguars has a program and they're doing something and reaching out to the community, again, I think it'd be a great opportunity to figure out what they're doing and then
I'll definitely
Absolutely.
look into
use
that.
that to contact the Buccaneers.
And we've had a couple players come out recently that have done some work with the kids, and what we're looking for is to dig deeper. We have
Sure.
a lot of youth there that just huge Buccaneers fans, a lot of young men who are wanting to play football in college and already practicing a lot out there. We actually have a young lady too. Anaya is quite the baller, a little wide receiver out there. So it's not just the guys anymore. But yes, we definitely want to deepen our relationships with the Bucs on multiple levels. A lot of kids that have been in trauma have learning disabilities in school and have a hard time in school. And so we want to figure out how to help our young athletes do better in school, because obviously that's going to set them up for college and whatever their career is going to be. So there's some ideas in how we might partner with the Bucs for those types of things for scholastic education and football
And
for at-risk youth.
And it's a big deal to be able to communicate to them on a level that they can suddenly have interest in what's going on, and it basically becomes a swap saying, we'll do this,
Yeah.
you help out in this.
Yeah.
And of course, I remember going through, I was a runner back in my day. Now that I've gotten past 40, I'm very athletically declined. But back in my day, I could really run, and I loved it that sports schools did.
The engineers want you to say your name nice and slow and loud, because somebody who's listening want to know who you are and how they can get in contact with you. So
my name is Mariah Hadden. I'm the executive director at New Life Village. Again, our website is www.newlifevillage.org. And that's the main way to get a hold of us. Yeah. My email would be Mariah, MARIAH, at newlifevillage.org.
And then Mariah is just an uncommon name nowadays.
Right. And just so you guys know, New Life Village sits in 12-acre gated community. So it is unusual in that the circumstances that allowed us to do what they are doing and the extent to which we are involved in, and we help the community at large, black, white, Hispanic.
That's awesome.
Everybody's involved a little in the population. There's a lot of black families at New Life Village. I'm saying that because I know the majority of my audience is black folks. And first thing we say, oh, well, what they got to do with us? Well, how they help?
Right.
They help. It's a lot of black families, a lot of black kids, in foster care. So that's one of the main things. So, and we say black and white because we don't want to get stuff confused by miscommunicating, trying to be politically correct. So that won't be our problem here. We're not politically.
We aren't scared.
Incorrect. So, and we got another caller. Caller, welcome to Porch Talk Radio. Who are you? Where you calling from? And what say you? Hello.
Hello, this is John from Tampa.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. What is your guest name there about the village? What is her name?
Say it again, Mariah.
Hi, John. My name is Mariah Hadden.
Oh, like Mariah. The wind cries Mariah.
Yes, they call the wind Mariah. That is exactly what I'm named after. Thanks, John.
I want to ask you, Mariah, do you think in the village that Donald Trump could live there? Because he needs a place to live.
Yeah.
Okay.
We have a waiting list. We're blessed with the waiting list at New Life Village, so he can certainly get on the waiting list.
Although he's leaving government housing for his own place, so I don't know about that.
He's old enough, so.
Yeah, he
old
could
enough.
be a senior. Well, so New Life Village is a small community, and in our community we have a lot of diversity, not just in how people look, but same thing, politics, religions. We're an interfaith village, so there's different religions there. And on a smaller scale, we have to figure out how all to get along, how to be neighbors, how to work together despite our differences, and more importantly, how to teach the children that are there to do the same thing. And so, it's good. It's a metaphor. We have differences. We have difference of opinion, but how do we respect each other? How do we love each other? And how do we teach our children?
And unfortunately, that is not being taught for the adults.
Right.
And that's why Eddie and I are constantly having to deal with foolishness.
Right.
And it's like, these are grown but people that have just been told, here's the parameters we're working with. And for you guys to be able to teach, get along, deal with it. Jane can have an opinion. John can have an opinion. They don't have to agree, but they don't have the right to attack each other either.
Right. No, you can say...
It sounds too simple, doesn't it?
We have a program director there, a new program director. Her name is Erin. And she has a famous saying, and she always says, you can say anything you want as long as you say it nicely. And I think it's pretty basic. I think we learned everything we need to know in kindergarten, right? We just don't practice those rules.
But there is a nice way to say anything, even if you intend to insult somebody. If you do it nicely, sometimes they may not be insulted, and that reduces the amount of friction, pain, and heartache that's involved for everybody.
You're sharing a difference of opinion, but you don't have to. It cracks me up. People think that by insulting each other, we can get you to agree with me.
Right. Intimidation, I believe.
Yeah. Let's call you all kinds of names, but hey, listen to what I say about politics or whatever.
But what's the difference between manipulation and intimidation then?
I think probably the tactic. intimidation, you're trying to scare somebody, manipulation, you're trying to get them to do what you want without them knowing it. But end game is similar. I think just the strategy to get there might be a little different.
This is the educational hour.
Yeah. Well,
I'm
again,
a college instructor too.
Oh my goodness.
yeah, it's a community, and a lot of folks really don't understand what that word means. You know, it's a group of people who, like I tell you about my home in Lake Wales. For the most part, I was born and raised in a community in which everybody pretty much knew everybody.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we had little old ladies who sat on the porch and
everything.
and every day when you walk by there going to and from school and from everywhere else, you know, your mom, dad didn't have to worry. And we all walked to and from because nobody had a car.
Because the neighbors help raise
Right.
you. And that's what we're doing at Midnight Village.
They kept the community safe, you know. And anybody who wasn't supposed to be in the community, anybody who wasn't supposed to be talking to you, anybody who you wasn't supposed to be dealing with, those adults knew. And they was adults. They were older adults, but they was adults. Yeah. And they made sure nothing happened to you. Because again, they are sitting on the porch, they walking who's coming, who's going, who's driving by, and the neighborhood pretty much was secure. We never worried or had the problems that we have, many of which we have today, because of the community.
Yeah, and that's the model that we have over at New Life Village. It's that everybody there is raising the kids, the staff, the neighbors, the seniors, the parents. The children go from, in foster care, the average foster child bounces houses 3 times a year. That's a lot of trauma. That's a lot of change.
The trauma, and then I think you guys teaching people this is your community. There's no need to run it down.
Yeah.
Because I live in a big complex, and sometimes people just drop a cup of soda water. I just said some old word there, soda water.
Yes.
A cup or some pop,
Yeah,
a cup or
yeah.
something. They'll just drop it and keep walking.
Yeah.
And you're like, yo, we
Sense
live
of
here.
ownership, sense
Yeah,
of ownership.
we live
Right.
here. This is our community.
Right.
I see a lot of that at the grocery store, especially with the
Yeah.
masks and stuff on the
Yeah.
ground. It drives me nuts. No, we
Yeah.
work with the kids.
That's
They're
good.
the same thing. They need to clean up their playground. They need to clean up the campus. We all take responsibility in planting flowers and painting buildings and keeping it nice and fresh. And we want it to be safe for them, but also beautiful.
To look nice. And that has an image. Once they continue seeing that image, when something's out of place, they go, well, that's not right. Let's pick it up. Don't even question it. Just pick it up, go throw it in the trash, and just move on without having a big, oh my God, what happened here? So what's the next program? What's the next big thing you guys are pushing for or close to getting?
Yeah, our biggest funding project right now is finishing this $4 million project, which is the 16 new townhouses. So what we're trying to do is have the project completely paid for before we start building it.
Ooh, what a concept.
Yeah, so that we're mortgage free. We're currently mortgage free. That means our main operating revenue comes from the rents of the village. That pays the staff, the programs, all that stuff. So we're about $500,000 away from being fully funded for a $4 million project. And again, we'll be breaking ground for those 16 townhouses, God willing, this summer. The next big thing is after that, we'll be building a multi-purpose building that's got program space, office space, and then down the hall, studios for our senior citizens. So that'll be, we have a big 12 acres, a lot of land developed. What's so cool about it is when Sister Claire and Eddie and the founding board found the place, it was during the housing boom, right? So real estate was inexpensive, everyone was in foreclosure, and the developer who had built this place went into foreclosure in the middle of the project. So we built 4 buildings and then went belly up. But the whole rest of the property, he'd already put water, sewage, electric underground. So we're pre-developed underground.
Took advantage of a real estate bust.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And so we have 0 debt on that. So we're trying to do our next phase of expansion without debt as well, with the same business model, which has really carried us, though. We'll talk about COVID for a second. A lot of people, a lot of charities, a lot of businesses have folded this year because of COVID for various reasons, and our business model's been very strong, and we've been very blessed. We've only had 2 cases of COVID in the village. The one case, Carlos, he was pretty sick. We didn't think he was going to come home, but God willing, he made it home. Awesome. And so we've incredibly blessed and stronger than ever in a year where a lot of businesses and charities have closed down. So that's what's next, and then in between that, a much smaller project, we're trying to finish our multi-purpose field, So that's where the kids are playing football. It's not a level field because when the builders left it behind, there's ditches and stuff. It's not safe for them. So we're trying to get smaller amount of donations, a couple $1,000s to get the field level, get them some football goals on the side of the field, line the field and stuff like that. Like I said, we've got a lot of youngsters playing football, aspiring athletes. And then we just always are recruiting for program dollars. That's the dollars for paintbrushes.
How much acres do you need for a football field? I don't know.
We're not doing a full football field, but we have a big stretch north of our playground.
Okay.
So it's not a regular sized football field, but it's like
for
a
kids,
like
not adults, you know.
I thought we had some
No,
men
You
running
don't
back
play
for
football
it.
with us?
I'm sorry, my hearing normally works. It just didn't right then.
Selective hearing.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
I've been married long enough. I know how this goes.
You know how this works. Okay, I tell you what. Let's do this. Let's go ahead and do on this day,
Hit it.
and then that way we can come back and she can announce who she is and what she's doing and New Life Village and all that stuff again. So that way we get some at the beginning, some at the end of the show for people who's actually writing some of this down and people who care about what we're trying to do. So let's go ahead and do this on this day. On this day, January the 23rd, January 23rd, 1789, Georgetown College was established as the first Catholic college in the United States. The school is in Washington, D.C. So
Georgetown.
Georgetown. That's the old Georgetown everybody used to, Georgetown basketball.
Ah,
Yeah.
okay then.
Okay, and on this day, January 23rd, 1845, the U.S. Congress decided all national elections would be held on the first Tuesday after the first Monday in November. They were that specific. So not the first Tuesday, but the first Tuesday after the first Monday. And there's certain years where you may have a first Tuesday and there's no Monday in front of it because of the way the days fall.
Month.
Right. Yeah.
Okay, got it.
Because of the way it falls.
I was thinking, why did they do that?
So they were Pacific.
Got it.
On this day, January the 23rd, in 1907, Charles Curtis, now remember that name, Charles Curtis of Kansas, began serving in the United States Senate. He was the first American Indian to become a U.S. senator.
Let me guess, a Republican?
He resigned in March of 1929 to become U.S. President Herbert Hoover's vice president. So
That's a pretty good step up.
So I don't know if a lot of you guys heard that
No.
or not heard that.
That's not being taught.
But in 1929, we had an American Indian as vice president.
That's not being taught. Yeah. That's amazing.
Okay, on this day, again, a lot of times when I pull these things up and I see these things, you know, a lot of them are related to what's happening today.
Mm-hmm.
We have an Indian, a part Indian.
Two separate Indians. She's from India.
India. So it's different. That's why I say American Indian, which is Native American Indian. You know, but now we have a black and an Indian from the continent, from the country of India. You know, because she's part, you know, Indian and part Jamaican. Yeah. So anyway, on this date, January 23rd, 1973, U.S. President Richard Nixon announced an accord that had been reached to end the Vietnam War. So a lot of you guys forgot that.
That was such a disaster, Eddie.
Yeah.
Politicians ran that.
Right.
We lost thousands of American lives on that with the politicians trying to control from Washington, D.C. No idea, no clue. And, of course, Nixon was never impeached.
Well, it was a political war. So,
Absolutely.
So again,
And we lost lives.
yeah, a lot of lives were lost. But Nixon announced an accord that brought it to an end.
That's not being done.
And last but not least, on this day, January the 23rd, 1977. I know this is going to strike for a lot of people. The TV miniseries Roots began airing on ABC. The show was based upon Alex Haley's novel. So again, a lot of people may not remember history from the books, but for those of us who've been around for a while, history that happened while we've been alive is a lot different than the history that we only got from the history books.
There's been a lot going on. I think Elvis died in 77, didn't he?
I don't know when Elvis died. that wasn't important to me.
I was in a country folks' home, and they were all crying.
Okay. All right, Gabriel, your 2 minutes.
All right, folks. Well, I'm speaking for Gabriel. Eddie can speak for Eddie, obviously. I plan to show President Biden the same respect that was shown to President Trump by the liberal Democrats. I think fair is fair. I think it's a fraud the way the election happened, and I believe Biden is a fraud. Now, that was the lighter side. Executive orders signed the first week of Biden's presidency. Executive orders. Trump had done 4 his first couple of weeks, something like that. Obama did 8. Bush did 2 executive orders. Biden has 17 and is still going. So much for partisan politics, huh? Can't call yourself a bipartisan and unifying your government via executive order. Of course, Obama saw the DMZ through goggles. Bush saw the DMZ through goggles. Bill Clinton, saw the DMZ through goggles. Trump walked into it and walked back, while the other ones were just there for tourists. Meanwhile, CNN is upset. Right-wing media holds Biden bash fest, foreshadowing the next 4 years. Gee, if they swapped out the word Biden for Trump, it'd be normal. Meanwhile, Gretchen Whitmer travels to D.C. for inauguration after telling Michiganers to stay home. The rules are for them, not her. Of course, insulin and epinephrine, something that people use that have diabetes. Prices guaranteed to go up since Biden is now reversing the executive order by Trump to reduce the pricing. Again, not a partisan issue. This will harm all Americans. Let's see. And abortion-only judges are going to be allowed to be in Biden's, that he's going to be electing. He said it straight out. He wants abortion judges only. Appointing, thank you. And of course, he'll get the blanket. So if Biden can pick abortion judges, then why can't any other president pick something different? Just thoughts, folks. Looks like the virus has served its purpose. Democrats now want to open the economy, but 2 months ago we couldn't go to polling centers. Amazon has refused to provide a record of letters showing that they have just recently offered anything to the Trump administration to help out, as the letter they gave to Biden Wednesday saying that they're going to let their complete organization be available for them to send medication, the vaccines, all over the planet, as the Biden administration wants. YouTube's caught removing dislikes from the Biden White House inauguration. Obviously, people weren't impressed with that, and so it goes. Transgender, Mr. Biden promised he would do that his first day, and he did. He unilaterally eviscerated women's sports. National Guard was forced to evacuate the Capitol building Thursday. So they were invited there by a Democrat, and then they were kicked out by a Democrat because they saw one of the soldiers in a Dunkin' Donuts not wearing a mask. If you're eating, I don't think you can wear a mask. I don't know. You need with a mask, I guess. Let's see here. Okay, on the lighter side, as we go to the lighter side, there's a he said, she said, and if you've been married any amount of time or been in a relationship, he says one thing, the lady says something, and sometimes they're not always matching. So, for example, he said, I don't know why you wear a bra. You've got nothing to put in it. She said, you wear pants, don't you? He said, shall we try swapping positions tonight? She said, that's a good idea. You stand by the ironing board while I sit on the sofa and pass gas. He said, what have you been doing with all the grocery money I gave you? She said, turn sideways and look in the mirror. He said, why are married women heavier than single women? She said, single women come home, see what's in the fridge, and go to bed. Married women come home, see what's in the bed, and go to the fridge. So there's always a difference of opinion, folks, as we come to a close. And there's so much good stuff going on today in the policies that are happening. Just to understand, I mentioned earlier, Trump is going to live rent-free for the next 4 years. Now, with that said, we're only 5 seats down in the House from taking it over. Republicans are. Now, not too much ground to make up. Trump could primary Rubio in Florida, take his Senate seat, and then take the Mitch McConnell job and have Kamala removed. We got options, folks. Well, here's another crazy idea. Trump runs for Congress in 22, is elected Speaker of the House. Now he controls the branch of the federal government again and can impeach Kamala. There are so many options, folks. It's just awesome. Dr. Fauci tells the WHO that Biden will lift the ban on funding abortions overseas so your tax dollars can help kill babies overseas. And then finally, as we come to a close, elderly woman in church says to her husband, the wife turns to her husband and says, I've just done a silent fart. What should I do? The husband responds, put new batteries in your hearing aid. Thank you, folks.
All right. All right. Well, like I say, Gabriel does his thing, I do my thing, and they are considerably different. And just a point to make, if I don't know if you remember $5 gasoline.
Oh.
I'm just here to tell you, just a few months ago, I was paying $1.80
Yes.
for gas. I'm just telling you, in the last 2 weeks,
It's gone up, buddy.
gas has went up, and today on my way in to the studio, gas was $2.40. Now that's, I don't know if you're watching, and ignore it. I don't care if you ignore it or not. I am just telling you, it's some things that's gonna happen, and it's gonna affect everybody. I don't care if you like it or you don't like it. If you was for it, if you wasn't for it. One thing that Trump did, he made America energy independent. Now that you depend upon other people, for your gas and oil and everything else, and matter of fact, these people talking about, oh, no fossil fuel. Well, forget that, because
rubber.
Plastic.
Yeah, plastic.
All plastic comes from fossil fuel. You may not need the gas, but I guarantee you, if you start looking around your house and see how much plastic you got, you're gonna rethink that. But you don't think that far ahead. So anyway, let me just tell you. So in the next 3 to 6 months, when gas is $4 and $5 again, and you're complaining about it, and it affects everybody regardless, you're gonna have an issue with what's happening. But it's gonna be too late. All right. So who are you? Where are you calling from? And what say you, Mariah?
What say you? I'm going to start the political conversation. Hi, everybody. Good afternoon again. This is Mariah Hadden. I am here with these two lively gentlemen and their bad jokes. I
got a ton of them.
Gabriel with the bad jokes.
I got a ton of them.
I'm with the New Life Village. We're a really cool community over in the Palm River area for foster adoptive families to help get children out of Tampa's foster care system. You can learn more about us at www.newlifevillage.org. And again, thank you for having me. My name is Mariah with New Life Village.
That's awesome. That's a great organization.
Yeah, and
good people involved.
And what I wanted to do is, as a bringing you political people. I mean, a couple weeks ago we had the people from Miracles Outreach on the show. We had them here. We got New Life Village on the show. We will bring you people from the community that everybody should be involved with. The whole purpose of this is for you. I know people say, "Well, I didn't know." That's real popular, especially in the especially in the black neighborhood. You didn't know. You didn't hear.
Well, who dat?
Exactly. And at the end of the day, well, I would have done so and so.
But
I would have this. I would have that. Well, that's why I'm bringing you these people, so you can't say I didn't know, and you made an active decision to not be involved with a lot of stuff. And I know coronavirus is out there, but somehow people are still happening. I'm gonna tell you something that I know for sure. The Super Bowl is gonna happen, and it's gonna happen in a couple of weeks.
22,000 people supposedly.
Yeah, they found a way, because at first they were gonna have no people at the Super Bowl, but I knew when they said that was gonna be a lie. You know,
because they got people money going to throw some money down.
Yeah, Super Bowl's too big a deal.
And then you got Gasparilla coming up after that.
And Gasparilla's going to be.
That's a big money maker for the community.
Here. You know, they postponed it. You know, because they, you know,
April.
It's in April. They're gonna do it. You know, the day parade, the night parade. You know, MLK is going to be in June. So I mean, they're going to do all that stuff. That just tell you that they're looking forward to, at some point in time, everything being normal, normalizing stuff. Corona, no corona, and making everybody's life again. Some people's lives have been destroyed. Some people's lives have been destroyed with no redemption, no way to get it back.
Well, and CNN is going to now go the way of the swine flu because they have dropped the COVID death count that they used to have. Now that Biden is president, they're no longer keeping track of that, and now that Biden has put a mandated federal that everybody's got to wear mask on federal property unless you're him or he's having a party. It doesn't matter. That's different. So this COVID thing is going to be going away pretty quick because now everything is supposed to open up. New York City is supposed to be opening up right away. All the blue states supposed to be opening up right away. Just don't pay attention to BLM and Antifa still burning stuff down. But it's supposed to open up right away. So I think this COVID thing, I think it's going to be cured immediately. I think they're saying right away.
Well, 100 million vaccines
in 100 days.
100 days. So that's 1 million a day. Now, somebody told me, someone in the medical field, okay, to say that's what they were doing already. I'm just saying, but see, it didn't get the fanfare that they're giving
because Biden wasn't behind it.
This new deal, right?
Biden is like the Messiah too.
Yeah, well, he's 70-some years old. He could
78.
He could be. I don't know.
He hasn't been on that long now, but close.
Yeah.
Him and Nancy.
But it's a lot of people who the situations have not changed at all.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing that have changed is the people who are managing it, and the media who pretty much have been trying to tell people all along what to think and what to think about issues and concerns, and not so much think about people, but think about what to think.
Well,
and that's the difference.
I think Joe Biden is the best one to shoot himself in the foot repeatedly because he just said yesterday they can do nothing. His administration, the Biden administration, can do nothing to change the trajectory of what's going on with COVID. In other words, Trump's already done it. There's nothing we can do. He said it. Okay.
Now, I also heard him say that nothing was done for COVID.
Isn't that great?
That they had to start from scratch. There
Ain't
was
that great?
no program out there. There was no distribution out there. That literally they got to start from scratch with the program. Even though, other sources say, well, Trump was already treating 1 million people a day. But there's no system out there. And I know because they launched the system and folks had been getting shots and the vaccine came along, maybe after Trump, got, kicked out of office. But the nature of it was that it was something going on and it was all, they had a plan. So when somebody tell me there was no plan, we got to start from scratch, today and
what that means, Eddie?
And 2 weeks ago when Trump was in office, people was getting shots and there was a plan. I'm just saying that, it sounds kind of fishy.
It sounds like bureaucracy, Eddie. They're going to have to set up a whole new bureaucratic branch department to oversee that with, hundreds of thousands of people in that new department. So a new government department is going to have to be set up just for COVID. And Dr. Fauci is running it because now he's been transferred over to the new administration. So the 80-year-old bureaucrat said that now he can be free to express his opinions.
To do his own thing. All right, anyway, folks, thank you for listening today. We have Mariah here, and she's going to give her information one last time before we go on the air. But we love you, and thank you for listening. We serve the community at your will. Mariah.
Thank you again for having me. My name is Mariah Hadden. I am with New Life Village over in Palm River. We, I would say, are an issue that's more important than politics. It's children.
Big
right?
time.
Right?
Right.
And regardless, so we're a wonderful organization that serves at-risk children here in Tampa Bay that have been impacted by trauma and foster care. We have a wonderful program. Check out our website, www.newlifevillage.org. Check us out on Facebook. We're very active there. And be a part of something positive that can kind of rise above what's going on right now and impact our future.
All right, so until next week, same bat time, same bat station, Tampa Bay, we love you. Bye-bye.
God bless.